Okay, I'm out here in my SUV. It's 4:12 p.m. June 8th here north of Dallas. And my SUV says it's 93, but it's in the shade. And my cell phone, AccuWeather, I believe it is. Or is that? That might actually be the Weather Channel. I don't know. But it says it's 97 degrees with a heat index of 111. 111. Oh my goodness. Wow, we've been having great, beautiful weather. Chilly for us. So today's June 8th. But anyway, I want to go ahead and wrap this one up. But I want to tell, well, I did all that because I want to tell the experience I've had this year. I have had so many things. I could say my whole life, but especially, and not be dramatic about it, just be truthful about it. This year itself, some things that were so, what did the word just pop into my mind? Harrowing. Oh my goodness, it's just been so much. And, it caused me to have some really bad health conditions. So, but now, by the way, I am better. Okay, now the other situation that was there was several situations going on. And one of them included, what was it, like, I can't even remember the date, honestly. A month and a half, 2 months ago, whenever it was, when I lost my little buddy, the one I said that my American Pit Bull Terrier. Such a nice, sweet, gentle dog, still rather young. He was a rescue. And man, he did not die an easy death. We were not able to give him mercy. And early enough for me, because it was, one of the things was it was a weekend, and we took him to the weekend, to one of them. I called several, and took them to more than one. Well, we took them to one, and they immediately wanted something like $10,000 or something, and there was no way we were going to. Adam wanted to pay it, and I said no, because I saw what they were actually doing with other dogs. I actually saw it, and I said no, I'm not putting my dog through that. I mean, it was mercy or mercy, and one kind of mercy, other kind of mercy wasn't able to give him, and that was to let him go. Really, just to let him go. Okay, yeah, it was a lot. It was so much. Plus, I had this heart failure thing going on. In the middle of it, wound up in the hospital the day after we finally, got him to euthanize him, and the next day I wound up in the hospital again, the second time. First time, that's when they determined I had heart failure. I don't know if I say had or have at this point. And it was so much of them wanting, it just kept going on and on, seriously. I guess you could say I finally put an end to it this week myself, because no, don't give me BS. Okay, just don't. I've jokingly said that my superpower is BS detector. Well, I was on a what was it, years ago when Adam and I weren't together. I was on one of those online dating sites. God, I would never recommend that to anybody. But I don't tell anybody what to do. But I would never recommend anybody. So, but I was on one, and I put, you have to put your occupation. I put mine was BS detector. So these days I say it's my superpower. Jokingly, of course. But, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. I was a career student over 20 years. Yeah, I wanted to really know what I know and really understand humans, human behavior, So from both I took more than those classes just in psychology and sociology, more than like you would think of, in grade school, your social studies. Okay, I left off, I had to clip that one, but think of your social studies teacher, but bigger than that in high school, junior high school. My goodness, what is going on with me today? Yes, every day. Pardon me. But anyway, doing all that, I mentioned this in one video. The people in my, I guess you call it social circle. I mean, I don't have that many. I purposefully, because my experience in life, as far as me, where I live, what is playing roles in it, this, that, and the other, and all that. It's not going to be the same as for anybody else. But it's a lot of histrionic behavior. People wanting to be the center of attention. They don't care how. These ones I'm talking about, they don't care how they get to be center of attention. That good attention, bad attention, they want to be center of attention. And if anybody who is against them, they're just haters, bashers, this, that, and the other. Trolls, they never take responsibility, accountability, none of that. That's been my experience. They all of a sudden, here it is, I have this health condition, but they were focused on the using the dog's passing. I was having to, he was really bad off, seriously bad off. We had to actually tear up all the carpet in our master bedroom and bathroom, because that's where he was at the time. And like I said, we couldn't show him mercy early enough. It was awful. Trust me. There's so much else going on that had gone on, and yeah. But anyway, oh boy, where was I? But so many people wanted to use that to make themselves the center of attention. I am not kidding. I mean, I know how people grieve. I know that I'm not exactly a normal, because what happens too much, and believe me, I was studying at this time to see what is that I wind up being the responsible one. It's not having to, I could just walk away and just say, screw it, all of you take care of it, But I am a responsible person. I'm not that kind of, person to be, derelict of duties. I'm sorry, I got my nose. But anyway, so it was like I couldn't take the time, because my health condition and the fact that I should have been grieving. I should have been able to grieve, but I had to take care of so much stuff, including myself and my health. Even the vet's office, one of the women there, she could really understand me. I mean, she and I are about the same age. And she said, yeah, you had to take care of yourself and everything. And during all of this, and then having these fools, I'm going to use these words, they're just, they're histrionic to me. I'm not diagnosing with the disorder. I'm just saying, oof, look at me, and make sure you pay all the attention to me. Oh, I'm grieving. Oh, like one Skyped Adam, did something like Skype. Adam, that's the way, she's in Canada. And he told her, she goes, I just can't handle it. Oh. This kind of crazy stuff. I'm telling you, I'm mild-mannered. I'm very mild-mannered. I could say, well, I got really upset, but I really don't get too upset. I'm mild-mannered. And I'm just like, and it's not even flabbergasted. It's not even any of those. It's like, I'm not even shocked. I'm telling you, I don't get anything anymore like that. I don't get awed. That's been these are many years ago, really. But the nerve they got to be the center of attention. And I am very surprised that none of them, well, one of them actually, it's part of her culture, not in his family, but it was a neighbor, that part of her culture is that they fast, okay, until, they find out if the dog or the animal lives or dies. I don't know if it's the same thing they do that with people. I would imagine so. But she told Adam that she was fasting because of the dog, and that is part of her culture. They're not of the same culture as me nor Adam, and Adam and I are not the same culture, same country even. He grew up in a country across the globe. I grew up here, United States, in Texas. So anyway, but I mean, so many drama kings, drama queens. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I've mentioned this so many times in my life since I was born. I was born into it, seeing this. I am like the total opposite. So even when I say things that this was a very dramatic situation, traumatic, I would have, but because of the way they did, I have trauma. They made it so dramatic. It was traumatic, not dramatic, boy. I'm telling you, but it is kind of a drama what they made of it. It's just so they can get this attention, man. And Adam was acting so bizarre. I have never, in over 40 years, now it's going on 45. I have never seen him behave like that. Never. And I had to worry about my health. And he wasn't worried about it. And he was just worried about, he was so dramatic. I am serious. He also, and it was like, oh my God. I'm serious. I have never seen him behave that way. And nowhere near anything like that. And so I was saying all this. Now, after all that, okay, so people who are so self-centered that they're doing that, this kind of people, just imagine that what I have seen with them, the ones who make so much all about themselves. Since then, I mean, it was another little eye-opening experience. It's not like I didn't have any clue to this. I did before. But I think this really brought it to the forefront of my mind. That is to say, no, you're not taking my moment away from me. Like I talked about these people who, online even, but also people in person, steal my ideas or steal other people's ideas. They steal their thunder. They steal parts of a person's life like that. And, even like you say, oh, I'm not feeling well today. I have a bit of a stomach ache, or I have, a little headache. And the person says, oh, well, I do too. I have a headache, and it is I. You know what I'm saying, right? I. That's all it is with them. Me, me, I. This kind of thing. And now I put stern and firm. No, it is my headache. You don't get to steal it and make it yours. Because that's what they do. They do not want anybody to have anything where they're not in the center of attention. And you can be alone with them. And they're going to make sure they have the worst headache. Oh, seriously. Oh my gosh. And the whole thing with the mourning and all. I wasn't able to mourn my dog's passing. And anytime I've mentioned him since then to anybody, and that's the same kind of crap, is that self-centeredness. And I said, no, this is my moment. You don't get to take my time of me talking about my dog, me having memories of my dog, and turning around and making it all about you. I flat out said, and you wouldn't believe the jump back, like flinching. I get from, whomever. Because they're not used to people saying, no, you're not making this situation all about yourself. It's shocking to them. Somebody actually says the word no. Unbelievable, some people, to use a poor dog's passing to get attention. Disgusting. These are people I find disgusting anyway. So, but anyway, I wanted to wrap this, just add more to that, and I'm going to wrap this up, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.